Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
22 years, he has terrorized this town. Tonight, it ends.
We need to stop this mother.
We need a plan of attack.
We have to get these people out of town.
How can he still be alive?
This is Officer Williams. Our night isn't over yet.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to wrap up the Thorn timeline as we discuss Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, starring Donald Pleasance, Paul Rudd, Marianne Hagan, Mitch Ryan, Devin Gardner, J.C. Brandy, and George P. Wilbur. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I said during the introduction, we're going to wrap up the Thorn timeline as we discuss the sixth installment in the Halloween franchise, The Curse of Michael Myers. And our movie opens on October 31st, 1989, as Michael Myers and his niece, Jamie Lloyd, are abducted from the Haddonfield police station by the Man in Black. 6 years later, on October 30th, 1995, a now 15-year-old Jamie gives birth to a child, and the Man in Black, revealed to be the leader of a druid-like cult, takes the child away. Later, Nurse Mary, a midwife, helps Jamie escape with her child, but Michael kills the nurse. Jamie and her child flee in a stolen pickup truck with Michael in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, Dr. Sam Loomis has retired and moved to a cabin just on the outskirts of Haddonfield, where he lives as a hermit. He is visited one day by his friend, Dr. Terrence Wynn, the chief administrator of Smith's Grove Sanitarium, where Michael had been incarcerated as a boy. Wynn tells Loomis that he is retiring and asks him to return to Smith's Grove in order to take his place as chief administrator. They overhear Jamie's plea for help on a local radio station when she makes a call to Loomis, only to be ignored by radio DJ Barry Sims. Michael catches up with Jamie and she crashes the truck into an old barn. He then kills Jamie but finds that her child is not in the truck. Back in Haddonfield, Tommy Doyle, whom Laurie Strode babysat back in 1978, now lives in a boarding house ran by an elderly woman named Miss Blankership. Tommy is a reclusive individual who has become obsessed with finding the truth behind Michael's motives. The dysfunctional family now living in the Myers house across the street are relatives of the Strode family. Cara Strode, her 6-year-old son Danny, her teenage brother Tim, caring mother Deborah, and abusive father John. Danny is being tormented by the man in black, who is grooming him to try and follow in Michael's footsteps, leading him to almost use a knife on John during a heated argument between him and Cara during breakfast, at which John has slapped Cara in the face. Tommy finds Jamie's baby at a bus station and takes him to the hospital. There he runs into Dr. Loomis and tells him about the Strode family now living in the Myers house. Tommy takes the baby back with him to his house where he names it Stephen, while Loomis goes to the Strode house and alerts Deborah about Michael. While Deborah starts to pack up belongings in order to leave, Michael shows up and kills her. Tommy then runs into Danny on the street, who is coming home from school, and takes him home. Cara returns, calling for Deborah, but is unable to find her. Instead, she comes across Tommy with Danny in Danny's room. Tommy then takes them to the boarding house, where he reveals to Cara that he believes Michael has been inflicted with Thorn, an ancient druid curse that causes him to kill his bloodline on Halloween night, and believes that Jamie's baby will be Michael's final sacrifice. Later that night, Tommy meets Loomis at a Halloween party being held at a community college that Cara, Tim, and Tim's girlfriend Beth are attending, with DJ Barry Sims serving as the special guest of honor. Meanwhile, Mrs. Blankship reveals to Cara that she was babysitting Michael the night that he killed his sister, Judith Myers, and that Danny is hearing a voice telling him to kill just like Michael did, indicating that Danny also possesses the power of Thorn. Shortly after, Michael kills John, Tim, Beth, and DJ Barry Sims. Cara then follows Danny back to the Strode house after he is summoned by the man in black. There she sees Michael and fights him off, and then escapes with Danny back to the boarding house where Tommy and Loomis are waiting. Much to their shock, the cult has arrived there with Mrs. Blankship as an alliance, and the man in black revealing himself to be none other than Dr. Wynn. The cult drugs Loomis and Tommy and takes Cara, Danny, and Stephen to Smith's Grove. Cara is locked in a maximum security ward while the boys are kept in an operating room. Tommy and Loomis awaken and they head to Smith's Grove. Once there, Loomis confronts Wynn, who reveals that the Smith's Grove staff have been working with the Thorn cult to study the power of the Thorn and learn how to control it. Stephen is implied to be the successful result of experiments to clone Michael's pure evil. Wynn wants Loomis to join in on his conspiracy, as he was the first one to see the evil inside of Michael. But Loomis refuses and is knocked out by a doctor. Meanwhile, Tommy frees Kara as Michael pursues them throughout the sanitarium. They find Wynn and his team, who are about to perform a medical procedure on Danny and Steven when Michael suddenly appears and turns against Wynn and the doctors, killing them all. Tommy and Kara rescue the kids, and Michael chases them into a laboratory where Kara notices fetuses from Wynn's failed experiments. Tommy injects Michael with corrosives and beats him unconscious with a lead pipe. Tommy, Kara, and the children then leave Smith's Grove while Loomis stays behind to take care of business. Inside, Michael's mask lies alone on the lab floor, and Loomis screams in the background, leaving their fates unknown as our movie comes to its end. I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed the depths explored as to why Michael was the way he was, being cursed with the power of Thorn, the druid cult and everything. In its own kind of silly way for a horror movie, the explanation made sense. Michael was cursed as a boy. He was being babysat by Mrs. Blankenship, who is affiliated with the cult. Michael then went and killed Judith Myers. It all comes together in a big old pot of chili and makes sense. And once again, we get that slight humanization of Michael when he turns and he kills the doctors instead of Danny and Steven. And again, seeing that little glimpse of human nature in Michael, I enjoyed that. I thought it was a nice touch. This film also marked the debut of Paul Rudd. Yes, Clueless was released first, but this movie was filmed first. So they were both filmed right around the same time. They were both filmed in the fall of 94 and released in 95. Clueless just happened to come out first. But this was filmed first, so it's the first film that Paul Rudd appeared in and even starred in, because he was one of the stars, Donald Pleasance and Paul Rudd. So kudos on him for his first feature film to be a starring role. That just showed the talent of Paul Rudd even back then in 1994-95. I thought he did a great job as the grown-up Tommy Doyle, a role that we would see reprised in the new timeline. But it was a good full circle movie, and if you just watch this timeline, Halloween 78, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, 5, and 6, that 5-movie saga is a hell of a story. Again, we got so many splintered timelines that it's just mind exploding at this point, and it's really kind of chaotic and crazy. But this is a nice, solid timeline. And I highly recommend those of you that don't watch 4, 5, and 6 that often really sit down and watch these 5 movies together. Make sure you watch the producer's cut. I've been told the theatrical cut is trash, but I'm going to have to watch it at some point. Maybe I'll do a month of alternate cuts. We'll have to see if I can find enough to do that down the road. When it comes to my review and my rating for Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I put it up there with Return because I thought it was a nice way to wrap up this series and put a bow on everything. I enjoyed Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that interaction regarding the Halloween franchise and Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And we're going to be taking a look at the next chapter and the next splinter in the Halloween franchise as we discuss Halloween H2O, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Michelle Williams, Josh Hartnett, and LL Cool J. And then at the top of the hour following that, broadcast here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as over on the Jeff Meacham Network, it'll be time for another edition of The Dads, Not Always on Wrestling, as Jeff Meacham and I discuss our top 10 horror movie sequels. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that content, both right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as on the Jeff Meacham Network. Got Halloween H2O, top 10 horror sequels. So much in store coming up this week. Make sure you tune in. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that drop right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, movie fanatics, cinephiles, John Carpenter fans, Halloween fans, Paul Rudd fans, Donald Pleasance fans, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this video and my content. Share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized, make some money on this endeavor. Thank you once again to all you who tuned in and joined me here today. It means more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.